Good morning. Do any of you wear glasses? Well, I wear glasses because I'm nearsighted, which means I have a hard time seeing things far away. And speaking of glasses, I'm reminded of a story about a boy who I'll call Pete, who also, just like me, had a hard time seeing well. The funny thing about it was that Pete didn't know that he couldn't see very well. In fact, no one knew it. Not his mom or dad, his grandparents, not even his closest friends knew that Pete couldn't see well. Pete thought that everything in the world had fuzzy edges because that's the way things looked to him. He thought that all the other children saw things just as he saw them. As he got older, his mother began to wonder why Pete always sat so close to the TV. His grandfather noticed that when he looked at a book, he held it very close to his face. When Pete began school, he complained to the teacher that he couldn't see the words on the whiteboard clearly. Finally, everyone began to realize that Pete needed glasses. Pete's parents took him to an eye doctor, and the doctor told them, "Pete needs glasses." In a few short days, Pete had a brand new pair of glasses. At first, he was afraid that the other kids would make fun of him because he had to wear glasses. But when he put the glasses on, he put his worries behind him. Wow, the world looks so different. Suddenly, Pete discovered that everything in the world didn't have fuzzy edges. He realized that a tree had leaves. He could read a book without holding it right up to his face, and he could see his mother's face clearly, even when she was all the way across the room. It was great. You may not have trouble with your eyesight, but all of us have difficulty seeing and understanding things at times. And our Bible story today shows how some of Jesus' disciples had trouble understanding what they had seen. When Jesus died, his followers thought that he was gone forever. They didn't know what to do. They were very sad. They couldn't see things clearly because they were so mixed up and upset. But two of Jesus' friends were walking back to their home in the village of Emmaus one day when another traveler joined them on the road. They didn't recognize who it was, but they began to talk to him and tell him all about what had happened to Jesus and how sad they were. When it was evening, they arrived at their home and invited the stranger that they had been walking with to stay with them and have supper. They all sat down to eat, and when the traveler broke the bread and blessed it, something happened. It was as if they had put on Pete's glasses. Suddenly, they saw clearly what they hadn't seen before, even though they'd been looking right at it most of the day. They realized that the stranger who had joined them on the road was really Jesus, alive and well. And after Jesus left them, they ran back to Jerusalem to tell the other disciples. Sometimes we can feel confused and don't see things clearly. When that happens, it's okay to ask God for help understanding things more clearly. In fact, Jesus is with us to help us do that. Jesus helps us to understand that God loves us and is always with us.